crazy, like how stiff you are after getting in the car for 16 hours and just having to stress about driving. And me and Shannon were talking about that yesterday. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, see,
especially for the old guys, bro.
Bro.
And can't be apart.
Bro.
Dude, he doesn't stop. I know Aaron doesn't stop for nothing but gas. Because he doesn't sleep. So he's
just on it.
16 hours.
Yeah,
going.
like.
So if he could get gas while he's driving, he probably would. Like, gas him up. Yeah, I know, right? I think we're not stopping.
Bro.
He's crazy. He's just a different human being, bro.
Dude, just a road warrior. I can't do it. Like I can't sleep in the car, but whenever I start to drive, I get exhausted, so tired. And then I get in the passenger seat and I'm like, oh, I can't even sleep. So it's just
because you don't trust the driver, bro. That's all that is. Man.
Right.
I don't. I can't. The only person I can sleep in the car with is my brother, bro. That's the only.
Yeah, because you know he's got you. Yeah.
Mine was my girlfriend worked one night, and before we went to the Virginia Blue Ridge, and I was like, we're gonna have to leave like right when we get off work. And shit, it closed that night, so she got off at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. She was like, I'm good. Just need to get my monsters. She drank her monsters, and I'm in the passenger seat like, good. I'm like, good. She's like, I got it. Literally, we get there, and it's like, by the time we like get there and everything, it was literally like we just drove straight there, straight up to the track. I was just like, she said
sweet
the whole time too. I was like, and she might take a nap between those, but I was just like,
hey,
we made it.
You guys made it, and you got your rest, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I was good.
Hell yeah.
You know, so all right, so let's jump into this one. Some questions that I wanted to ask you about. So how often do you train?
So it really depends on like what I'm trying to accomplish in the training block, but usually 6 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. And then when I'm tapering off, like this week is my last hard week before grands, and then I'll start to taper off the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'll train probably 4 days a week, and then 2 of those days are like active recovery and just riding and just staying comfortable on the bike.
Okay. Now with your training, are you training like distance, even though like your races are literally only 45 seconds? Yours aren't that long. So do you actually have to train for an endurance on that, or are you guys just training like sprints when you're like going to the gym?
So like further out from the race, we'll do a lot of endurance training, a lot of full laps, 3/4 laps, and doing it with as little break as possible. Usually like around 10 to 12 minutes, sometimes 8 minutes, depending on how far we are out from the race. But closer, like this week, I had to do full laps today, and then I probably won't do full laps again, but like one other time, maybe beginning of next week. I just have to get my schedule for next week. But and then closer to the race, it's more like first straights, half laps at the very most, more like explosive, fast twitch stuff, a lot of plyometrics in the gym, squats, deadlifts, just stuff like that.
Okay. What about so when you go to a track, like a new track, one that you haven't been to, they just built it indoors, whatever it is, how do you break that track down for the race before you actually first hit it? Do you just go out there and like ride it, or do you actually try to break it down mentally as your first straight?
So
each section in the book?
I mean, I've been racing for so long, and if you've been racing for a while, then you can just really go to the track and you kind of already have an idea of what you're going to do. But I still like to break it down into each straightaway. And I feel like it's always key to link straightaways together. So like in practice, I won't just do like a first straight and then a second straight and then a third straight. Like I'll do a 1-2, then I'll do a 2-3, and then a 3-4, just to feel like how the corner, like how you can come into the corner, just to feel for how you're going to come into each straightaway. I think as far as what I focus on the most, I think the first straight, just because I feel like that's the most important part of the race. That's where a lot of races are won and lost. And even more specifically, like the first jump, I think is the most important jump on the track. So at Grands, like I'll be obsessed with trying to figure out how to pedal all the way up and over the first jump. So that's usually like the main thing about each time I come to the track.
Okay.
Yep.
How do you figure out gearing? Do you use the same gear throughout all the tracks, or do you change gears depending on the track?
Mainly I don't. Like I usually don't like to change my gear. I like to stay on one gear and just not have to think about it. And I feel like if you train on one gear, your body's just used to that gear, and your muscle memory is just a lot more, efficient and better with a gear that you've been running for months. So, with that being said, though, like Grands is usually a kind of small hill, so I'll probably go down to like a 48.8, 17, no, 18, 48.8, 18, which is like a 54 flat or 53.8, just to be able to get up to speed and, keep the legs moving down the first straight.
So what do you normally run?
49.18.
Golly.
It sounds big, but it's not. It's not that big. It's actually kind of small for elites. It's like a 54.2.
Is there an advantage to running the bigger rings?
Yeah. So from a physics standpoint, you just have more surface area that's being touched by the chain. So it's like the energy is dispersed a little bit better, right? So like if you had like a small chain ring, but it was a big gear, and you had, you have less teeth touching the chain, I feel like you have more of a chance to pop a chain, or it's just not going to be as smooth of a spin. It could be mental, but I've heard a lot of other people say that, and that's really the advantage to running bigger chain rings. So.
And that's considered the California gearing?
I think.
That's what I heard.
I don't know. Maybe. I think so. Isn't California gearing just 44.16?
No, I just heard California gearing was Tyler Brown. I think had the big 52 chain ring.
I guess so. Yeah. I've actually heard him say the same thing that I said, like having more surface area on the chain ring and having just more chain links being touched. It just makes it a little bit smoother of a spin.
Right.
Yeah.
Who, when you were racing and first starting out, who were the top pros that you'd always go like to see the most when you would go watch them?
Bubba, he was at the top when I came into the sport. He was at the top pretty much all the way up until I think Randy Stumphauser maybe came and won his AA title. But Randy was another top guy. I always liked watching him race, but Bubba was definitely my favorite pro ever since I came into the sport, because he was just, dude, unstoppable. His track speed was crazy, and he was so aggressive. And if there was a move, he was taking it. So that was a dude that I really, looked up to whenever I first came into the sport.
Would you say you modeled your style after him, like with a basketball player? How like people model their game towards Jordan or Kobe, or would you say you modeled your style of racing after him? Or you just like the way that he did it?
I think that Bubba was really just his own. Like, I don't think anybody could really mimic his style. Sorry, I'm eating.
Yeah, no worries.
Dude, I had to get the goldfish. Favorite food. Goldfish, hit me up for a sponsorship, for real. But, yeah, so I feel like it's kind of like Kyle Bennett. You don't really completely copy his style because he was just so unique. And I feel like Bubba was that way too. He was just so aggressive on the bike, elbows always bent, like tucked. And the crazy thing is another reason why he couldn't really be mimicked was, dude, his gait wasn't that good. But, his third, fourth, fifth crank would come around, and then he would be even, and then he would just like big body everybody down the first straight and get the whole shot. Or if he was, top 3, top 4 coming into the first turn, he was always a threat to win. So, dude, I just thought that was like, unmatched. I also like Kyle Bennett. I liked, when I was like a teen, I liked Joris a lot. Which is
how cool is that you get to race against him?
I mean, he's fast, bro. So, it's tough, but I really like racing him for sure because he's one of the guys that you can get in the gate with, and he's gonna stay straight. He's a really clean, efficient rider. Doesn't make many mistakes. So if I'm near him coming over an obstacle or coming into the turn, I don't have to worry about him getting squid and crashing me. So that's always a plus.
Right.
But he's tough, man. He's tough.
Is there like a courtesy to what you guys do versus just us amateurs as far as passing each other? Like, if I see you're on me and I just ain't got nothing left, do y'all just kind of like move a little bit to give them that room to just go past, or you just like, nah, you got to come get
it? I would say 90% of the time. And it depends on the rider. There's some dudes 100% of the time you're hitting them and they're not giving up any space on the track and they don't care about crashing. I'm not one of those guys. I like to just have a clean pass. And I have a firm belief that if you're worrying about one dude and you're taking up, any time at all in the corner trying to just purposely block somebody, the person behind you is already hunting and they're already trying to pass, and then they're going to get both of you. So I think it's really the best thing to, bump and run and just get back on it, or even just make a clean like high-low or go low and then immediately, close it and then go. Because if you take any extra time at all, going up, making sure they stop pedaling or take them off the track or whatever, then, you're 9 times out of 10 getting past.
Right.
But yeah, like we have an unspoken, kind of clean, clean riding courtesy. But, still you got to race aggressive. Just nothing crazy. Like there's not really anybody that just comes in and you get in the gate with them and you're like, all right, if I'm out front, they're T-boning me. Like everybody's.
I was just about to ask you if there was any riders out there like that.
There's a couple. I'm not gonna name drop, but
right, of course.
Yeah, there's a couple dudes that come to mind where I'm like, if I have them in my moto, then I'm like, oh crap, this dude's gonna be crazy. Like there's some guys that, they don't care if they're hitting you coming off the lip of the first supercross jump, right? It's different coming off the small hill, but when you got guys that don't care about making contact, throwing elbows, coming off the lip of the first jump, then it's like, it's kind of dumb. So
would you see that more in USA or versus UCI? Because each country, I guess, has their own style of racing. That it just like, how like I would say, I always use the basketball analogy, but how European League is different than the NBA over here. Like, there's just more aggressiveness on the European side. Is it the same way when you race UCI?
In my experience, yeah. It's like, I feel like worldwide riders, like World Cup style riders, are usually more aggressive. I feel like a lot of that comes from just the difference in how serious USA BMX is in comparison to UCI. I feel like over here it's more like it's not really pushed like a real professional sport. I feel like a lot of people kind of act like it's just a hobby, and it portrays us, in USA BMX, like the pros. A lot of times I feel like it's kind of like it, brings us down a little bit. And with that being said, like you go to a UCI race, everybody's professional. You have that vibe,
I saw something about they're talking about making you guys wear your pants tighter, or your shirts tighter.
Yeah, there's like,
I'm like, they weren't even loose to begin with, but you guys got to go tighter.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like we're already busting.
Does that make a difference? I was saying, does that make a difference with speed?
I don't think so.
Like whether
I don't think so. I mean, if you're crazy baggy, then maybe you get a little bit of wind resistance, but I don't really notice a difference. I think it looks a little bit better to run it tight and sleek.
Right.
Just my
I mean, you
preference.
guys are all in great shape out there.
Right,
Yeah, you guys are all
you
doing
gotta
great
show
shape
off
anyways.
the glutes and the quads, bro.
Got to attract the crowds. I got
Got
you.
to,
I got
got to. But for me, it's just a preference and looks. I don't really notice the difference between like bag gear clothes as far as speed goes.
So the guys that normally race UCI, do they have a problem when they come to USA BMX
Um,
functions?
yeah, definitely some of them. I feel like because UCI events, or I mean, just really like Euro style tracks and South American tracks are a lot bigger and tighter. So there's less pedaling. You don't get to refer on your power as much. There are a lot more technical riders because that's just the style of tracks. So whenever they come here, they just got a bunch of dogs with horsepower. And I feel like that's kind of how USA BMX is. Like all of our riders are really powerful out of the gate and, pretty strong riders. And then you have like, the French where a lot of them are really powerful for sure. But they're known for being more smooth and technical. Like,
That's with everything they do, I think, man.
yeah,
But
yeah.
a
Oh
whole
yeah,
other
dude.
story.
They're on another level in BMX, bro. They have so many great riders. And back to what I was saying, like when you go to a UCI race, it's all professional. Like with France, like they're bringing people up. They're playing the long game. They're bringing young riders up, having them train with the junior men and the elite men. And it's all like a team atmosphere. With us here at
Right.
USA BMX and USA Cycling, like, dude, we're all separate. We all train separate. It's just more isolated, and I feel like that kind of hurt us in the long run because everybody's just so like, secretive about their training. But you need a really good training group to build up the whole entire program. So I feel like we're
Right.
kind of
Right.
a little behind in the UCI stuff. Like I feel like we should be. I mean, we're second right now. We're still up there, but I feel like
Right.
USA should be like always fighting for a podium spot. Like we should have 2 or 3 riders at least in the main every World Cup,
Right.
which we don't,
Makes sense.
So, but yeah,
Okay. Okay. So what was your first major sponsor?
ooh, crap, I forgot. All Star Bike Shop in Raleigh. Might be Cary.
I think I've heard. I think I've heard of that shop.
Yeah, it's close to Capital City. Or at least their original shop was close to Capital. But yeah, Don Oster was the owner of that bike shop. Shout out to Don. Hooked it up with a red line. Or was it a red line? No, it was a Specialized. It was a Specialized.
They actually those Specialized actually made racing
Yeah, it
bikes?
was a micro mini. I think it was a mini. It was fire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a sick bike.
But you wish you still kept that bike?
Oh, I still have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yep.
Because Shannon had an old Diamondback that he wished he never got rid of. So
I'm sure.
And I had a Robinson that I wish I never got rid of.
Ah,
So we both look at each other like, man.
Robinson. Was that
Yeah.
DR's bike? Oh,
What,
yeah.
Donnie?
hmm
Mhm.
That's sick. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. I've heard about them, but
Yeah, dude. I mean, because my last name is Robinson, so it was like I just was out there, going to a bike shop, and I see that Robinson. I looked at my
Yep.
mom, was like, I gotta
Yep.
get it. That's us
Got
right
to.
there. That's me. It's calling me. She just started laughing, and I was, I ended up getting it a little bit later. And that was the first bike that I raced
that's
with.
sick.
And I literally feel like that year that I raced back, like 92, 91, that there was an older guy next to me who was clipped
Yeah.
in. But because it was like 91, I felt like he had like the 10-speed clips with like the little hooks.
Yeah.
Where where the whole sheet goes in and covers
Full
the
clip.
Yeah.
yeah, like I felt like it was something like that. I can't be 100% sure. But
That's
I just
crazy.
looking at him like, what do you think you're about to do with those?
Jesus.
And he just took off.
I'm sure,
And I
bro. He was
like,
just
oh,
yanking.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
yeah. So
He's got that
You're looking at
Planet,
those
Planet
now?
Fitness pedals. But
exactly.
what'd you say, Shannon?
I wonder if kids could use those now and get
Oh,
away with it.
I think you can.
I mean,
It's not
they're
illegal.
not clipped in, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah,
not technically not clipped in.
just
I
strapped in.
mean, dude, like, I'm sure they got a rule about it. I'm sure they have to. Or I'm surprised if they don't and kids aren't running them shits. Like, I would 100% run it because I feel like you have a way bigger advantage, being able to use the straps or whatever.
I saw a father taping his kid's foot to his pedal in Georgia one year. Yeah.
Yo, I mean, if nobody's saying nothing,
It was like the blue painter's tape, whatever. It was kind of,
yeah,
he didn't wrap a bunch around it so he couldn't get out, but it was enough to
yeah,
keep his
just keep
foot
them
on the
snug.
pedal. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
whatever works, whatever gives you that extra 50 watts coming out of the gate.
Yeah, right.
When you're training for a national and you're literally at the track national day, where do you go mentally to prepare yourself for that race?
I always like to have a routine. So every national, I'm waking up, doing the same shit, having the same food. I always eat oatmeal and fruit to start the day with
Right.
usually a latte, like a caramel latte or something from Starbucks. Get a little bit of
Okay.
sugar, obviously caffeine to wake up, and then going through a routine, like a specific routine for each race. It kind of helps me like mentally be stable throughout the race day, and it gives me
Right.
something else to not fixate over. Because if you're too fixated on the race and what you're going to do, you can overthink. And, when you think in BMX, you usually are, going slow and you mess up or, you choke. That's where it comes from. But if you're just going through your routine, don't have to think, your body's just straight instinct, then I feel like
Yeah.
you kill it. It's a lot better.
I mean, you guys don't have time to think.
Dude, if you think, you're down. Anytime that I've ever like second guessed the move is gone. The hole's closed. And you just kind of gotta, that's where the aggressiveness comes from. That's where the muscle memory and the just experience racing. Like, it's crazy what your body can do because you really don't even think about it. I'm sure you guys have the same thing. Like, a hole opens, if you second guess it or you're like, oh, then it's already gone. But if you're already,
Yep.
picturing it, visualize it, hole opens, you don't even think about it. You're just gone. So that's usually what
Right.
I like to do,
Right.
is just keep it simple, not a lot of overthinking. And just kind of, pretty much it. Keeping it simple.
When you ride, do you feel like you're borderline out of control? Because you guys sure enough look like it.
Yeah.
Like, you look like you're always riding on the edge. I mean, at all times. And
Um,
sometimes it's like scary to watch when I see all you guys coming up over a tabletop into a corner.
yeah, it's tough, bro. Like,
Who's going down? What's going to happen?
I'm pretty sure all of us are kind of scared a little bit, and nervous, but I don't feel like I'm riding on the edge. I feel like I just ride at my pace. And if I was on the edge, like, bro, like, and I made a mistake, then I'm done. So um, I stay in like my comfort zone, and I practice, more on the edge so that when I'm in the race, I'm in my comfort zone. Like, riding on the edge is comfortable. Um, yeah, but I try not to look like I'm riding on the edge. I try to be kind of smooth.
So outside of BMX, what are your hobbies? What are you into when you're not racing?
Video games, a lot. I'm just super
Are we
competitive.
talking multiple systems? Xbox,
No, just
PlayStation?
Xbox. Probably
Just
gonna get the
Xbox?
Xbox One X pretty soon. Do a little upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, that is dope, man.
You have it?
I love mine,
Dude.
yes. It's
Yeah, it looks sick.
it's definitely worth it. The graphics are enhanced, the games load faster.
Yeah, like my friends are freaking playing in a game, right? While I'm still in the party, like on the loading screen, and they've been playing for like 30, 45 seconds. I'm like,
Yep.
dang, dude,
Yep.
pretty crazy.
And it has it to where I think it's 3 to 5 games. So like I can be on like Madden And then I can back out the stream, jump into 2K, and it just continues right where I left off.
That's
I think
crazy.
it stores up to like 5 games of like instant access.
That's crazy.
Boom,
Dude, I would
jump
be
right into
bang,
it.
bang, bang, just going every match.
Because you play one game, you just get bored and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play something different. You just go back and
Yeah, that's
go
sweet.
to like,
Yeah, man. But
a different game.
yeah, that's dope. But Xbox, any sports activities, bro, like basketball, you know,
Play inside or outside? Like, what's your position that you play?
I play guard. Yeah,
Okay.
so whenever I would play in middle school and high school, I was usually a shooting guard or a point guard, but I was more shooting dominant. So I'd be like a JJ Redick type of player. I would cut
Okay.
like I was a menace, like moving without the ball. Kind of like how Curry is just constantly moving, and
Right.
you know, like doing BMX and training all the time gave me great cardio. So that was like one of the best things. One of my best assets was I would just outrun everybody. So, but yeah, any sports, like I don't play football, but I like watching sports, watching basketball.
Who's your
Football team, it sucks, but the Panthers, it's tough to be a Panther fan, bro. It's tough.
Hey, I'm a Niners fan, so I've had my seasons.
At least you guys, you know, have
So I
won a
get
bowl
it.
before. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
You guys won a couple, right?
I don't think so.
I think. Yeah, Cam Newton's won one.
No,
and I
he
think
didn't, bro.
somebody-
He lost in the Super Bowl.
No, he won.
Bro,
one.
I swear.
I'm pretty sure he won.
I swear, bro. I swear.
He's won one before the one with Eli
You
Manning.
look this up.
Yeah, verify that.
We're right up.
Because I'm pretty sure he won one before the Eli Manning thing.
I know they went to the Super Bowl twice.
And so they lost both
I'm pretty
times.
positive.
It says Cam Newton has never won a Super Bowl.
Oh,
Yeah, bro.
Okay, I guess I was wrong. Huh.
He was close, but dude, that season they went 14-0 until the 13-0 or 14-0. And the Super Bowl was the only damn game they lost, bro. I was sick. Bro. Sick.
That game was probably most likely rigged for Eli to catch that Super Bowl. 'Cause He was trash. He wasn't even throwing nothing good. He was like moving like a brick out there.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, come on, man.
Not mobile at all.
Right.
But
But go ahead, Shan. You got one?
Yeah, so when this is all over, when BMX is done for you, when you finish racing, competing, what do you plan on doing?
I got a few things in mind. Like I think I'll go through the entrepreneurial route and
Okay.
maybe do something in sales just to get my money up and get my foot in that door, and just see where it goes from there. Right now, I'm just really focused on 2024 for the Olympics and just putting all my eggs in that basket, and then really just going with the flow after that. See how I feel after that. Hoping I make the Olympics, hoping hell I win it, bro. That's the goal. Got to set your goals high, but yeah, man. But yes, preferably something with money. Something with good money.
Yeah,
That would be.
nice.
I feel like that's
nice.
like up there in the priorities. But
Speaking of that, did you get your lottery ticket?
yeah, well, my dad did, and we'll share it. If he wins, he'll give me a few mil.
Right? That's all I'm asking.
Right,
for.
only 100 million.
Right.
It's a small donation.
Easy. Right? That's what I was telling somebody. I was like, dude, if I win, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build an indoor super track.
Holy hell! I'd
And they're like, well, how
probably
much
die
is it?
if
I
I
don't know,
won,
for
bro.
you.
I'd probably have a heart attack.
Right?
I don't even know what
I'm
I
like,
would
dude,
do.
I'm like, just build one, and then and they're like, why'd you spend? I'm like, I'm guessing like 40 million. I don't
Cool.
know. Sounds like a decent number.
Yeah, man. I would build the craziest just complex with like 3 small tracks. Not small, but like, just regular hill tracks, probably 3 or 4 SX tracks. And then I'd most
There we
likely,
go.
I'd have a gym on set, right? So people can come and travel. work out,
Yep.
you know, maybe have a restaurant in the little complex
There we
with, you know,
go.
BMX
Yep.
food and shit. And then have like little cabins that can be around the community, have like a little community, right? So people can
Right.
come and,
Right.
you know, they can, you know, rent a cabin for a couple weeks if they're out of
There
the
we go.
country.
Yep.
And
Yep. I was saying like a
yeah,
resort.
dude. Yeah, dude. Have dirt jumps, skate park, but BMX skate park, right? So like a skate park that's more flowy, and you know maybe some um like wood and dirt jumps, right? Like box jumps, but like doubles and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that would be sick for sure.
So Supercross is a pretty big, it's a pretty big company. A lot of people's heard of them. If you're in BMX, you know Supercross. Right. And you're sponsored by them. So what would you say to a kid who's been riding for a while? He feels like he wants to get his name out there. Like, how does an athlete get themselves to be noticed by a big team to get picked up for a sponsorship?
Two main things. Results.
What sets them apart?
Huh?
Obviously, what sets them apart from anybody else?
You know, results, they speak. You know, when you got a lot of wins, then, you know, usually you get notoriety. And then I think also social media and just being very presentable, being like a popular rider also helps a lot. So like if you're not winning all the time, or, you know, you're in the mains and stuff, but you're maybe fighting for a podium, maybe a mid-pack rider, but you're marketable, teams love that. Because at the end of the day, results don't really sell bikes, right? The face does, and you know the fans really like whoever they're going for. Like Barry, bro, he's vet, he's not a top elite, you know, he's a beast,
Right.
but like, you know, he's the top vet, but he's the most, you know, popular BMX rider probably in the world right now.
Right.
You know,
he was one of the when I started to put my website together, realbmxracing.com. He was the first person that came that was willing to do an interview.
That was sick. Hell yeah.
And he was just like, shoot me over whatever questions you got. I'll answer whatever you need. And I was like, can I use a couple of your videos? He was like, bro, use any of my videos you want. Like, do whatever you got to do, you know. And he just was really personable, open. He even shot me a video when I broke my ribs last year, a get well video. Somebody was
that's sick.
That's right. Yeah,
bro, he's a good guy,
So,
and he's really marketable, and you know, he's easy to talk to. Like, he's really good with the kids. You know, at all his clinics, he always does good. You know, so
I feel bad for him. Did you see his hand? I was telling Shannon, I think it was like
I hope he's good for the Grands. He's had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
And, you know, for him to not be able to race the Grands because of a small Pro-Am and just like him coming unclipped, that would be tough. So, you know, prayers up for him, hoping he'll be good.
Definitely.
For Grands, man.
Definitely, because everyone likes to see him out there doing it.
Yeah, dude. You know, maybe throwing a backflip or something. Dude, you never know with him. Bro, he came to Bogota and like backflipped the pro set down second straight. And that pro set wasn't easy.
That's the video that he posted recently, I think.
Yep. Yeah, dude. It was sick. And that lip was like,
did he actually
straight up?
So why was he out there? Was he out there to race?
He was one of the coaches. He was there to like, I think, take video and like help out. But for me, I was kind of doing my own thing. A lot of the elites we were kind of like secluding ourselves and just like talking amongst each other. And he was just taking a bunch of videos for us. So, yeah. I think maybe helping with some bike issues too.
Okay. What would you say you like, because you lived in Tampa, right, for a couple of years? What would you say, did you like Tampa better than you like to here? Or which?
Yeah, man.
Which one?
Tampa. Tampa, for sure.
Is it because of now, why would you say it was better than
the weather, hands down. You know, it's always hot year round, and so that means
somebody told me if it rains there, because of the weather, is the track will be dry in like 15
Yeah,
minutes.
absolutely. And all the tracks are, 10 out of 10, man. Like their slurry is also like it's all so on point. They're all technical tracks, dialed corners, like you name it, bro. It's all just their whole scene down there is just amazing. And even the way that they promote their state series is like it's its own national series.
Also, so yeah, I noticed they're like 7 of 8,
Dude,
8 of 9.
yeah.
Like it just
They
keeps
have their
going
own
with them
pro
all year
series
long.
too. And at the end of the year, I think the top 5 pros get a huge check, like USA BMX, like if you're at Grands.
In your race career, how many Gold Cup titles did you win?
Well, back when I was amateur, it was called the Red Line Cup.
Okay.
We didn't have Gold Cup, and I don't think it was like the same thing. It was just one race, like
Oh wow.
one lap, no crap. So whoever won it, got Red Line Cup 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
But I don't really know. I think I won it like 2 or 3 times, but I didn't really. I've only raced it like 2, 3, 4 times. So
What's been like your biggest prize in like racing, where you're like when you won it, you're just like, holy crap, this thing's pretty cool? Was it like a frame or an awkward trophy?
not for
or
trophy, probably just sentimental meaning or sentimental value, probably for Worlds in 2017. I got World 2, and that was a cool trophy.
Nice.
But I don't know, man. Like I think the money is the best trophy.
You guys get to actually keep those big checks
Yeah.
that they give you?
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to have a big check, like where it's like actual money, not like 300, 400
Right.
bucks, then those are cool to keep
Right.
because then it says like actually a couple $1,000, and you're not like, oh yeah, I won a pro race, but yeah, I won $400 racing the
Right.
fastest dudes in the world. So I think the checks with the bigger numbers on it, sure, probably the best. But
So, I mean, what else should we know about you? What else is there something that will surprise people about Cam Moore that we don't know? Something unexpected. Tell us something.
I make music. I like to rap. We talked about it last time.
Okay.
And then that's a good question, bro. I don't know. I played trumpet in high school.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just rattling random stuff.
Yeah.
Like
And you still got it?
yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Trying to pull out a trumpet.
Oh, nah. I can't do it right now, but yeah, I played trumpet all throughout high school. Played basketball pretty much my
Okay.
whole life. I'm a Duke fan.
I'm sorry.
Are you a UNC fan?
Oh no, I'm not even from North Carolina. I don't really care for either one of those.
Who's your
teams.
team?
I'd probably go with UCLA.
Okay. I like UCLA, though. I like their team. I always think they have the best kits. They have the best uniforms. Like that yellow and blue is fire.
Right.
I love that.
The Lakers kind of look like how UCLA's
Yeah,
like
pretty
the way
much.
they've been playing. I was looking at
Yeah, dude.
the other day. I was like, looks like UCLA.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. They've won one game, right?
Oh, there we go. There we go. They got
2 now?
They got 2 now. They're like 2 and 7.
That's crazy. I think they'll come around. Hopefully.
Nah, maybe.
Maybe. Are you a Clippers fan over a Lakers fan?
I'd be a Clippers fan over a Lakers fan, yeah, because I stopped watching basketball once Shaq retired.
Oh,
So now I'm just mostly out there kind of watching a couple people, but I always root for I'm a home team
Right.
person. So really, Golden State, that's cool. It's Cali, but I was more of a Clippers fan.
it's good to be a Golden State fan.
Yeah. If you're all
Yeah,
right,
man.
Yeah. They're on a dynasty.
Dude.
Run.
For sure. Got one of the, I think, as of right now, one of the top 10 players of all time. Stuff.
Let me throw one more curveball at
All
you.
right.
Do you think and I want you to think about this. You're a smart guy. Do you think that we've been to the moon?
Yes, I think so.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think that maybe maybe some people are gonna judge my answers, but we're getting philosophical now. I think maybe whenever it was said that we went to the moon, that could have been maybe, possibly fudged a little bit just to get
Okay.
into the Russians' heads.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on, the timing, I think it's possible that they definitely wanted the Russians to think that our technology was, up to
Of course,
theirs.
we always had to be. We had to be the
Right.
best.
And it's just a power trip. But I think that we're so advanced that I think that we went to the moon.
Okay.
What about you?
I've always said no. But then, and when I do that, everyone's always like, "So you're a flat earther too?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I don't. I don't think the Earth is flat.
No, like
I just don't. I just don't think we have the technology to go." But and they just look at me like, "Well, break it down." I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad you asked."
All right, so I'm curious. So what's your whole reasoning?
I mean, you just look at the fact that you're telling me in 1964, 68, whenever they went, these guys went in Jiffy Pop foil suits and was able to go past the Van Halen belt of radiation and go through that and not be able to come back with no cancer at all in the time frame that they took. I think what they did was, I believe they went into space and they just sat out there and they orbited for 6-7 days or whatever many days it was until it was time for them to come back down, and the rest was kind of just staged. Because to me, as quickly as we are to find a new spot in America, is we always want to discover it and then take it home and dissect it and break it apart and do all these things. And so you're telling me we went to the moon less than 20 times and was like, yeah, we've seen all we need to see on there.
Yeah,
We get it. We're good.
I get that.
So,
I get that for sure.
And then the tapes of how they made the spaceships and all that stuff, the technology, all those tapes were taped over in Australia where they kept it in the archives.
A lot of ifs, ands, and buts. Yeah,
right.
I get that.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I grew up, and everyone's like, I grew up thinking we went, but the more that I think about it, the more that I read on it, I was just like, I don't think we actually could have gone. Because to me, with Elon Musk, why doesn't he just build his spaceship and just be like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and, you shouldn't try to do a Mars trip. Why don't you just be the one that says, you know what? I'm going to do a moon trip. It's closer.
Dude, the aliens, bro.
And right. And then, matter of fact, go to the moon and just be like, oh, look, there's our flag.
Right.
Where it's at. Just go right to our flag and be like,
yeah. This happened, bro.
The end all be all, right?
Yeah, man. I think, bro, the aliens. I think the aliens probably are on the moon, bro. Won't let us come.
I've seen some stuff there too, where you're just like, it's interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. But on a serious note, for sure. Like, I was just joking about that, but I think that there definitely could be. There's some interesting stuff. Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's a documentary called Unacknowledged, and I don't know if you guys have heard of it or seen it, but dude, it's just got like 100 different government officials from all around the world that are like, they're vouched for by like head of the CIA and like really high up officials, and the stories that they tell, bro, are just insane. Talking about how like there was one story, this one was freaky. It was some jet pilots, some Air Force guys, that they flew in like the fastest airplanes, right? That meant like Mach 10 or whatever. I don't know, Mach 5, Mach 6, whatever it is. And I don't know. But they were on the coast of Florida, right? I guess 3 or 4 of them flying together. And there was a spherical object that they saw on the radar. And their head officials were like, oh, don't go after it. And they went after it anyway. And they said that this object went from the coast of Florida to the coast of Maine in less than a second from a dead stop. From a dead stop, dude.
We don't have technology.
Dude.
Like that.
And this guy was like a legit Air Force pilot. Like, had all his credentials, all of his war medals and all that stuff, bro. So it's kind of hard to like discredit that, which I thought was crazy.
Right.
And another crazy thing, Buzz Aldrin was in this documentary. You know, he said he went to the moon.
Right.
And he said that there's a monolith that orbits Mars every, I don't know, 48 hours or however long he said. And he said that it was put there by something other than us. And it orbits Mars every like 24 hours or 72 hours. Yeah, and he's like, people are going to question, people are going to wonder, you know, what this is when they find out that this is happening, right? And we didn't put it there.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of shit like that. Just a bunch of different facts and stories, and it's crazy. Shannon, what do you think, bro?
Okay.
You believe in aliens?
Yes.
Yep.
I think there's some right here. Like, I think I
the
seen
short
one today,
answer.
bro, walking around my neighborhood.
There you go.
What about I got one. Another one. What about carbon wheels versus, I guess, well, I don't even know what they're made out of now. Is it made out of just metal?
Aluminum,
metal. Okay. So what's your take on those? Like going back and forth? I know they say the pros like the stiff ride. They want to feel every bump on the road. They want to feel the track up underneath them.
Man.
So to them, the tighter the better.
Yeah, I think for sure carbon rims. They're stiffer. You get more out of whenever the rims are stiffer, you get more backside, right? Because there's no energy being dispersed anywhere else but the rims, right? So if you have aluminum rims, obviously they can flex or bend, and some of that energy gets dispersed, not just straight into backside. And then I think out of the gate too, because you're putting a lot of pressure down from your hub to your spokes to the rim on your first 4 cranks. And I think that, them being stiffer, and no energy gets dispersed that way too. So you're just right on the gas, and you can really feel it too. It feels like, it's crazy. Like the first time I ever ran carbon rims, I came out of the gate sideways because like you subconsciously from riding aluminum rims for so long, you kind of like lean into your snap a little bit. And with the carbon rims, I like leaned into the snap, but it just like literally went that way, right? There was no, slack at all. So then it just made my gait have to be really just straightforward, which, it's pretty wild. Took a little bit of getting used to.
That's interesting. Because I'm running carbons next season, no doubt about it.
Oh, for sure. You're gonna feel a huge difference. Yeah, dude. Like if you bonk something, you're feeling it. But it's with the risk. There's the reward as well. So it just makes you stay smoother. Because like if you bonk, you're gonna feel everything. So it's like, all right, I gotta stay smooth, and then makes you faster. So.
Have you ever thought about running different type of air in your tires, like how NASCAR runs?
Absolutely.
I guess
that's actually a big thing for us. Like for example, in Bogota, the first jump was just a straight kicker, really short, but it was straight up and down, right? So the way that you had to hit it, you had no room for error. You had to immediately let the bike like soak up to your chest, and it was like uppercutting you every single time, dude. So, to have a little bit more give and let it be like softer, we'd run like 5-10 psi lower. So it would have some give on the rims, because if you ran it like 100, 110 and you had no give, bro, it was just, all that force straight to getting bucked, and a lot, 9 times out of 10, you're getting crazy,
Right.
So I think PSI is really, really a big deal.
Okay.
So is that what you normally run it at? 110?
No. Oh shit. Damn, my nose is so itchy, bro. My damn nose ring. But oh shit. I usually run it at like 90, 95. If it's a really fast track and the corners are nice and bowled out, I usually run like maximum 100, 105.
Do any of you guys run tubeless?
Some guys do, but it's really just a pain. Because if you go to a big race like a World Cup, and you mess up a tubeless setup, most of the time there's not going to be many bike shops there, or people that could fix it. Because like just having a regular tube and tire, everybody knows what's going on, and there's always tubes and regular setups. So I just think that the risk is not worth the reward.
Were sew-ups a thing when you were a kid? Did you ever run those?
I'm sorry?
They were called sew-ups?
Sew-ups?
Sew-ups.
Sew-ups.
I know what that is.
All right, never mind.
What is that?
That's an old school thing. It was just like when the tire was, I think, like sewn around the tube and then put on the wheel.
Oh, nah.
They used to roll off the wheels a lot, if they weren't properly installed.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. What was the like benefit for that?
I have no idea. A lot of the younger kids used to ride it. For some reason they did, and I just never did because I heard of
they would roll off.
So I never wanted that problem. So yeah.
I feel that.
I mean, I've heard tires rolling off rims with tubes, and
for sure.
You've heard that also.
Yeah, it's happened to me. Oh, dude. But I just like to have the regular setup, just because I know how to, change a tire, do my tube like that.
Oh yeah.
And it's just everybody has it at every race. So if something goes wrong, then I'm set. So.
Well, let me ask you another question. Do any pros ride OS20s that you know of?
No.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if we're allowed to. I think we have to run a 20.
Okay.
In UCI events, I'm pretty positive.
Okay.
But for as far as tire size, rim size, if you have a smaller rim, you have more room, right? So like on a cruiser in comparison to a 20, if you're getting tucked, like manualing or jumping, a lot of times you'll hit your butt on the tire, right? But if it's a 20-inch, you can get that extra tuck, get the bike up here, and get more, backside, or if you're going to case something and you need to soak it up, then you won't, flip the bars because your butt gets stuck. So.
Did you ever race cruiser?
Yep. I raced cruiser from when I started racing to when I was, I think, 12, and then I raced one more year in 15 cruiser.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to win a NAG 1 title and a NAG 1 cruiser title in the same year, just to see if I could do it.
Did you do it?
Yep. Yeah, man, it was crazy. There were only 3 races left, and at this time you had to win 6 main events, right, to get capped out. And so there were 2 days of racing at 3 nationals, and I decided, I was like, you know what? Like George Costa, who was my team manager, I was like, George, can I get a cruiser and see if I can do this? He's like, hey man, like you can have mine. You can just race mine. So dude, I ended up winning all 6 mains, came to Grands capped out, and then ended up winning both. Dude, it was probably one of my best Grands ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you race cruiser and class, how much time do you spend on each bike?
I'd always be on my 20-inch.
Did you have your cruiser set up like your 20-inch? Was it similar in size, crank size, height? Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, the gear ratio was the same. And really just the way that it rode. I liked my frame long. My rear wheel always slammed back, so you get more out of each manual. You can manual deeper things. So I really had it kind of the same setup. And I felt like it was kind of an easy switch back and forth. Like, you just got to really be committed to, if you're manualing something, then you got to really be confident and just know that your body's going to adjust for each bike. I never really had any issues with getting sketchy on the cruiser because I wasn't used to it.
Do you feel faster on one or the other?
I feel like on the 20-inch you're faster, because I think that just it being, you can ride it tighter. There's more room for error. You get tucked more, etc. I think the 20-inch is just the best bike. But, I do think cruisers are comfortable though, bro. Whenever I was a kid, dude, cruiser was my favorite bike for sure. I would always ride it and not want to ride my 20-inch because I felt like the cruiser, you could always jump a lot easier. For some reason, I don't know, but I would always jump my cruiser a lot easier.
I mean, that's why I feel faster on my cruiser. I feel safer on it. I feel like I could hit jumps a lot faster than on my 20 and not die. So yeah.
Right. Like I don't even know why I felt like that. Just the bigger rims. I don't know. But I always love jumping on my cruiser.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'd say.
Do you have any other bikes now? Do you ride any other bikes? Do you have a mountain bike or like a dirt jumper?
I have a mountain bike and a dirt jumper, but I don't really ride it that much because I'm, riding my race bike all the time, and especially with Grands coming up, I don't want to, possibly get hurt doing something, just having fun.
Definitely.
Which sucks to think about, but shit can happen. So I always just put my time into just dialing my 20-inch in and working on my gait, and because I can always get faster, I feel like, on the BMX track, and so I usually put my time and effort into just that.
I've heard some pros actually have a spare bike just in case. Do you normally have a setup something close to that? In case something happens, you can just hop on another bike and go?
I usually go with one bike to the race, but this next season I'm definitely going to go with two bikes from here on out, just in case something happens.
Right.
Where, I don't know, the crank snap or something like that. I don't get stuck with a $700 bill at the bike shop,
Right.
So, but
makes sense.
Yeah. And I think having two bikes is awesome too, just to have another one to look at and have ready. And, yeah,
right.
You feel legit. You feel a lot more legit, like a pro.
What about when it comes to your sponsorship right now? What'd you say what sets Supercross apart from any other sponsorship that you've had?
Just the family atmosphere, man. Everybody on the team is like a close-knit squad. The trust, you know exactly what everybody's thinking on the team, and we're just all just super close. I feel like that's like the main difference from Supercross with any other team out there. Also, the bikes are amazing. My favorite bikes I've ever ridden. The Vision F1 is just insane. Manualing on that thing, you can manual for days. You don't feel like you're ever going to loop out. It's easy to keep it up. Coming out of the gate, it's stiff, dude. I could just name, all these things.
I heard they're getting ready to drop an OS F1. I think I read that somewhere.
If I'm not mistaken, I think somebody already has one, but I could be wrong.
I think Shannon knows. Shannon knows the name because I forgot what his name was. It was like he races Supercross, but he has no S.
Chad Hill, I think maybe.
Who's the oldest guy in Supercross? Races 51, 55.
Oh, Sean O'Gorman.
Yeah,
Sean O'Gorman.
Beast.
So I think that's who the guy I saw.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude. He's so fast.
You were saying that he had a signature frame, possibly, right? Is that what that was?
So. I think that's what I heard. I heard they were talking about it online or something in a forum or something that they were going to actually allow that to be like a signature frame because he's been with Supercross for so long that they were like introducing it to
dude,
him.
That would be sick.
This is what I read.
That would be sick. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about it.
I think they made a batch of RS7s and they sold out just as quick as they released them.
Oh, dude.
But,
yeah, Bill is always selling out their frames, bro. Because everybody wants them, dude.
Doesn't ever hit the shelf.
Yeah, man.
It's literally just from factory to customer, literally.
That's what I want now. It doesn't have to be the F1. I'll take the RS7 OS right now.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, no doubt, man.
I'm actually going to be riding an NVRS7 at Grants.
Okay.
Really?
Yep. And why is that?
Well, just had some mechanical issues on my vision, and I just wanted to really see if I could try out the NV because I rode the NVRS7 fastback last year for a period of time, and I loved it. So I just want to try it out, try something new, and just see how it goes. I feel like switching up
so you bring
a little something.
So are you gonna? Is this that moment that you might bring both bikes?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna have my blue bike, the Vision, ready to race. But
how much time do you need to spend on the RS7 before you hit Grants?
A day. It's gonna ride the same. It'll ride the same. It'll just maybe could have a little smoother ride with it not being as stiff. It's still crazy stiff, but that can be a good thing. You get more flowy with the RS7 possibly. And I just love the way they ride. Both of them.
So do you do anything the week of Grand starting that Sunday or Monday, just say, do you do anything? Or is those rest days?
Right, a lot of rest. A lot of active recovery. Cryotherapy, stretching, foam rolling. A lot of compression therapy, like the boots that you put on that squeeze the stale blood out of your legs. And that's pretty much it. Like, because at that point, you're not really going to be training and getting any gains the week of a race. So really, it's just good to like be completely fresh, completely recovered, make sure that all of your, food levels are good.
So what, now that I think about it, when do you guys go in? Because you guys don't race ROC, right?
We do actually, yeah.
You do? It's the same setup?
Actually, I'm not even sure. I do know we race it, but I think we finish earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean you guys get a rock plate as well? Mm-hmm. Like rock one? No?
They count it as another national. So for us, it's not even like the race of champions like it is, but for us, they just count it as another national for national points to go to the actual title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty cool.
So most of you guys come in on Monday or Tuesday to make sure you're there for the Wednesday practice?
Yeah, like I'll probably fly in Sunday or Monday. And it's good to just, get your feet down and just be able to chill at least for a day or two and not have to worry about anything. Like get your bike built, go eat, watch a movie, just go have some fun. Get your mind kind of off the race and not be so stressed. Helps me sleep a lot, whenever I'm like doing other stuff and just going and getting food. But if I'm just so fixated on the race, bro, it's so tough for me to sleep, which is huge.
because it's the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, bro.
This is the
Yeah,
show.
this is the biggest race in the world, over
And
worlds.
I thought for sure I was going to go last year, and then I broke my ribs. And then this year it's a blood clot, so I'm like
Oh,
living through Shannon. I'm like, bro, you got to go. Like you're having a stellar year. I need him out there to win one for us. So I'm like, dude, you got to go
bro.
out there. Like this is it. Like and I'm like, you ain't really how hyped I'm gonna be here shouting at the TV, rooting for you.
Hell yeah.
While eating like
Yeah.
crazy though, of course. But you'll be you'll be getting it dialed in, bro.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that and watching you guys on TV.
Yeah, heck yeah. Hopefully it goes good for us, and yeah, it's gonna be sick for sure.
Do you do you watch the So one thing that one of the guys was telling me that he does for these younger kids is he has them watch the women's pro series because a lot of the pros, well, not a lot of pros, but the pros and the ones like right under them, they don't jump as much. So he says it's good to watch them because you can get a true understanding of how much power they use, how many times they pedal,
Yeah.
just so you can roll everything a lot faster and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I could see
Do you
that.
ever go out there and just, do you ever go out there and just watch the ladies go out there and do their thing
Oh,
too?
for sure. Yeah. I think their racing is super fun to watch. A lot of those girls, are so skilled, like, Smolders and Elise and, you know, uh, Zoe Clayson, Stansel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they ride smooth, man, hitting triples, and dude, they're quick. So it's always fun to watch
Oh
them,
yeah.
come off the 8 meter and even the smaller tracks too, because they're beasts.
How do you feel the competition has changed since Connor's not there this year? He wasn't there last year, but since we know for sure he's just done, how do you feel the competition has handled that adjustment of all right, that's one guy we don't have to worry about right now?
Um, Honestly, like there's so many fast guys that obviously Connor's one of the greatest ever, so he was always up there for a win. He was always a main maker, and so obviously it makes it a little bit easier. You got one less guy, but there's a lot of other fast guys that are filling his shoes. So
Right.
So who are your favorite amateurs to watch? Let's start with the young guys.
Ooh, that's tough. There's a lot of quick guys, young guys. We got a bunch of rippers on Supercross. There's a kid named Ryder Murky. He's a beast. I think he's 10x. Then little Ty, BMX 895 is his username on Instagram. He's on Supercross. He's a beast. He's so skilled. He's 10 too. All the little rippers on my team, Josh White, Deegan's super fast, man. I'm not naming everybody, but they got some, yeah,
But everybody's their
yeah,
stone.
man. And Cedric Cade, he's another dude that's a beast. You can just look at him and see that he's up next. He's a beast.
He's my favorite young rider to watch, bro. No doubt, man.
Yeah.
That dude's amazing.
Yeah, he's gonna be a top pro, I think, for sure, if everything goes well for him.
What about older riders, older amateurs?
I like Jeremy Thompson, man. He's a beast. The local dude, one of my training partners. He's always, he's so smooth. One of the smoothest dudes for sure, and especially in his age group. I'm not really sure. I like JT. I like Tom. All the local scene. I like watching y'all race. Yeah, really just, the homies from the local scene. I don't really watch a lot of, amateur racing whenever I'm, doing the race day. Yeah. So I usually only watch like the mains with the people I know. So usually just all the homies.
Nice.
Yep.
Is there, when you're racing against other team members, are they how do you feel like going into the main with them on the same race? Is it just like it's all love,
Yeah.
or are you guys just, what do you guys
Really, like,
is it every man for themselves? Because it's not like NASCAR where you're like, hey, I'm the one, you're the team.
right.
Just, you know.
Yeah. We just go after it. And it's all love. But really, we're not teammates on the track. Like, we're all
Right.
racing to win. And if, I'm out front and, Cam or Johnny's behind me, they're going to blast me if they have to move. I know I would do the same. So, and it's all
Right.
love. Like, we all have the same goal.
Yeah.
So we're friends off the track, and we're friends on the track too, obviously. But we're all just racing, having fun, and we keep it on the track, off the track. We're all chill, so it's pretty cool.
Right. So wait till you get old, because there's times where we'd be racing and we go high low, and the one guy just straight dropped up on me and cut me off, and he was like, as he came down, he was just apologizing. I'm so sorry, Everett. I'm so sorry. And I'm behind him just getting
That's
like,
wild.
That's
awesome.
Go. I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, that was clean as hell. Just go. And then we get to the next one that dropped in on him. And I'm like, right back at you.
That's so sick. It's cool to be able to do that.
People always like, what do you guys do? Right? And they're just like, oh, you can hear the old guys over there chuckling it up when we're racing, because it's about having so much fun.
Yep.
And just, at the end of the day, you got number one, high fiving them, like, yeah, man, it's just, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You get out there and just racing and having a good time.
That's what BMX is about, bro.
Hurt.
For sure.
Sounds like every one of my motos, bro. I'm talking every moto. From the gate to the finish line, I am talking.
Dude, I talk too sometimes, like, especially if I have a friend in one of my rounds and, like, I'm coming over on him or something, or, we're in close quarters and I'm about to pass him, or, dude, I'm like, yo, here. Or, all right, go. Like, if I'm in a qualifying spot and I got my buddy in front of me and we're in like first and second, I'll be like, go. Cause I'm like letting them know, listen, I'm right here, but you gotta go. Cause they're on our ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn, my fan keeps knocking over. Over and over again. There we go. We're good. But
so I guess that's all I got. You're good.
yeah,
Right? Like, actually,
I had one more question about the Supercross team. So when you get signed to a team, is it for a certain period of time? You guys have to go through like an evaluation every certain period, during the year. Is it like a 1-year contract, a 4-year contract? Is it does it vary between riders?
Yeah, it varies. Just depends on what team it is and if you're pro or not, or just how they like to make their contracts up, or if they just like doing a handshake deal. I usually prefer like doing contracts, but just so you know like what you're getting. I don't have to worry about anything with Supercross because we're like family. But in the past, I've always liked to do more of contract type deals. So yeah, it really just depends on the team. A lot more so for pro. If it's a bigger team, then I think it's usually a contract, and it can be 1-2 years. Yeah, like my 2-year deal's at up at the end of this year. So
maybe that's the one thing that I like about the end of the season. When does the shakeup happen? Does it happen usually after Grands? Or before Grands? People popping up with new bikes?
Usually,
like
I think after Grands, for sure.
Because,
Grands is the end of the season. And I think usually by Christmas, everybody's got all their builds on Instagram and pretty much what it's going to look like for the next season.
Right.
But usually like people know before Grands, but they're not changing anything up until after.
Yeah. Okay. So I was gonna say, I noticed when I was doing interviews with a few people, they'd just be like, "I can't tell you what's going on right now, but just know that some good things are happening, and you'll find out." I'm like, "That's cool." I'm not trying to
Yep.
be breaking news to something you can't share with me. Just